My name is Runyararo Mukahanana. With Zimtrade, I'm a client advisor in the export development department, which is part of the operations. So today we're just going to focus on the sweet potatoes and some of the export opportunities that are there with the sweet potatoes. So that is just the roadmap of the presentation that I'm going to go through just now. So I think maybe the previous presenter spoke much in detail about the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, but I'll just highlight that the young shoots and leaves are sometimes eaten as greens, also pointed out by our moderator, and they are rich in vitamins, potassium, and other nutrients. So the export varieties that are demanded internationally is the Beauregard and Confident, which are all orange flesh sweet potatoes. And sweet potatoes use more edible energy per hectare than white rice, rice or cassava, and they are high in carbohydrates, fiber, and micronutrients. The shoots are edible and are also high in vitamin A, C, and B, and that's just an illustration of the nutrients that you can get from the sweet potato. So as you go further, this is just a table just to show you in terms of the demand that is there in terms of the sweet potatoes. And as you can see, from 2017 to 2021, it has been growing gradually. Right now, as of 2021, which will be our latest statistics. Unfortunately, 2022 statistics are not yet out, but we can, based on these ones, we are looking at a total export market value of 799 million. That is world over. And if we look at in tonnage, in terms of the exports, you are looking at, on world demand, you are looking at about 740,000 tons, 827, with the biggest markets for the sweet potato, namely the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, and France. The Netherlands being also one of the biggest importers and exporters, as a very good way of getting into those markets. The Netherlands is one of the biggest re-exporters in the UK, in the EU, and it covers a huge coverage in terms of EU countries. So the export requirements that you would need, these are Zimbabwean export requirements. We are looking at your agro certificate that is obtained from Agricultural Marketing Authority, your AMA, and your AMA registration. You're looking at your phytosanitary, which is obtained from Azoya Plant Quarantine Services. We are also looking at the export permit that is issued by the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, and Rural Resettlement, and also your CD1 forms that are issued by the bank. So what are the specific requirements that we would need to comply with to be able to get into the European markets? The issues to do with pesticides and residual values, which we call MRLs. The EU is very strict in terms of these levels, and the fruit that has to go there, I beg your pardon. So for your sweet potatoes, they have to match these requirements to be able to get into Europe. Also, the sweet potatoes must have a phytosanitary certificate also to accompany this. This is according to their regulations, and this is to just specify that the products have been properly inspected, are free from quarantine pests, and are within the regulation of the non-quarantine pests, and particularly free from other pests. Europe will have a list of pests that they would not want the sweet potato to actually move in with. And if you do go through the plant quarantine services, they will help in terms of the issues to do with the pests. Then other requirements are the general marketing standards that state the product should be intact and sound. They should be clean, particularly free of any visible foreign matter, i.e. they should not have any soils on them, free from pests, free from damage that could affect the flesh, free of abnormal moisture. This could affect the sweet potato while it is in transit, and this might lead to the sweet potato getting bad. Any free from any foreign smells. The condition of the product must be in such to enable them to withstand the transportation. Sweet potatoes are a heavy, bulky product. So in terms of transportation, sea freight would be the best way, and it would take on average of up to about 20 days to get it to destination market. So during that time, the sweet potato has to be in such a condition that when it leaves the port, depending on the exit port of into the international market until it gets to the destination, and also so that it can arrive in a satisfactory condition in the destination. So some of the other issues also are the control of post-harvest processes. So to maintain a good quality and a longer shelf life, you must dominate the curing process. This allows you to store the sweet potatoes. So in South Africa, and the standard that is being used is that it goes through a curing process where it is heated from about 25 to 28 degrees, so that for a period of about 2 to 3 days, so that it gets rid of all the other issues. If there are any issues to do with the bruises, the skin heals, and also it turns the starch into sugar. So this gives the sweet potato that sweet, nice taste when it gets into the destination market. Other issues also is to check the product size and uniformity, and also using high quality packaging. The packaging also must allow the sweet potatoes also to breathe. I will show you an example of the type of packaging that needs to be done. And also to enter into the European market, global gap is the benchmark in terms of the standards that you would need to get into. Global gap is just basically your good agricultural practices, farming practices. It's a certification that is synonymous with the EU, and it is very attainable for those that would go into the processing of the sweet potato in terms of value addition. HACCP would be a certification that you might also need to get in order to meet their standards. And for those that want to unlock niche markets, we can also go for the organic certification. What organic certification basically means is that you are growing the sweet potato in an organic way, meaning that you're not using any forms of spray or conventional type of farming to do the growing, leading to you being able to get the certification. The certification body also is a certification body also that helps in terms of getting the certification. It unlocks a better price as organic produce fetches ×2 or ×3 on the international market than conventionally grown produce. And these are some of the examples of value addition that can be done for the sweet potato. We've got sweet potato flour, we've got sweet potato powder. In its most processed form, you can get vodka out of sweet potato. We've got sweet potato jam, we've got sweet potato flakes, we've got sweet potato biscuits, and sweet potato chips and fries, which have been proven to be more healthier than your conventional normal potato fries in terms of the type of processes, in terms of it being ready for consumption. So this is an example of the packaging, which are perforated boxes to allow movement of air into the boxes, and also in terms of the standardization of the sizes, and also in terms of the state of movement in terms of the potatoes getting into the international market. As you can see, these sweet potatoes have been cleaned. They have no moisture on them, and also they don't have any soil content that could carry any sort of pest into destination markets. Who is Zimtrade? Zimtrade is the National Trade Development and Promotional Organization. We have 4 pillars in terms of our service portfolio. We've got market intelligence, export development, export promotion, and advocacy. Export market intelligence is where we Zimtrade avails information on markets, produce, and standards that are needed into getting to the international markets. So in this instance, we are talking about issues to do with, for example, with our sweet potato, the market trends that they're in the sweet potato, the markets that demand the sweet potato, and the standards that are needed, and the varieties that are needed of the sweet potato. We also conduct market surveys where we go into the different markets, collect the information, and we disseminate that information in dissemination seminars where we bring in buyers. They also conduct online tools training where we have certain portals that we can use to actually find potential markets or to get information on the markets from the comfort of your office, just having an internet connection. They also produce what we call product focus and market pointers, which show generally the trends that are there in the different markets. Export development, this department is all about capacity building, building the farmers' capacity to be able to meet international standards. This is done through technical interventions. We have 2 senior experts organizations that we use. One is in Germany, called ACS, and the other one is in POM from the Netherlands. Basically, what it is, it's free technical advice coming in from technical experts that are coming in out of these countries that are giving back into the community. In this instance, to Zimbabwe, where they come through, depending on the length of the intervention. Some are 2 weeks, some are about a week, and they come through and help you to iron out issues. Maybe issues to do with quality, maybe issues to do with peace, maybe issues to do with the whole supply chain. They come and help in terms of that. We also offer training. We've got a flagship training called Marketing and Branding for International Competitiveness. This is basically a packaging training where we train producers or would-be exporters on aspects of the international market, issues to do with your issues to do with your branding, issues to do with intellectual property, issues to do with being able to get customers in the international market, barcoding. It's a comprehensive training in terms of being ready for the export. And then we go into export promotion. Export promotion is where we take you into the international market. This is through trade shows, inwards and outward buyer missions, where we interact or we bring the exporters in contact with the buyers. For example, our local international trade fair is the one in Blaawai called the ZITF. And that is a typical example where we bring in international buyers, or where we bring in international players, and we arrange for B2B meetings where they are able to exchange information and strike deals there. And lastly, we have advocacy. This service is where we lobby for the ease of export business. If there are any issues that are affecting exporters in terms of them being able to export, as Zimtrade is a quasi-government, half half private and half government, under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we're able to lobby on the behalf of exporters on issues that may be affecting them in terms of their ease of export. I think with that, I end my presentation.